The emerging issues facing directors, well, some of them are very well known, obviously, cybersecurity, transformation, whether it's digital or otherwise. For Australia, I think very small market in a big world. And so while we're not capital constrained, it's very hard to grow your business in Australia. So for many Australian companies, you have to start thinking about, well, where's the growth going to come from? If it's going to come from Asia, then, as for many of us it will, understanding how to do business in Asia. Because my observation is many people in this country have no idea how to do business in Asia. They assume it's just going to be like it is here, which it is not. And then, of course, there's the other issues of human resource management. What you'll find now as a director is you're spending a lot more time on HR issues, obviously, apart from the personal liability in terms of occ health and safety. Just because the human capital is such a big part of your business, you really need to pay a lot of attention to it. And then there's the other emerging issues like, obviously, ESG, but, apart from your shareholders, who are those stakeholders that you really do need to look after and pay attention to? And it's a moving feast at the moment, and, I see some commentary about directors should be paying as much attention to the external stakeholders as they do to the shareholders. Now, ASIC may have a different view on that, and the shareholders might have a different view, but it is something that directors really need to be cognizant of at the moment. So the emerging skill sets for me, like a lot of boards have got lawyers and accountants. And, we're fabulous, obviously, but we're not fabulous at everything. If I look at my Bapcor board, our distinguishing feature is our people and their ability to connect with our customers. If you think about the emerging theories on trust, how does an organisation establish and maintain trust in a world that's so big, where a lot of the communication is at third hand or fourth hand through social media and other ways? It's the people who do it. So for me, if you don't have good HR, you can have a great set of numbers, but they won't last because you're not going to have the people who are invested in the success of the company. Obviously marketing, because it is tough, and the methods of marketing are different. So, you used to be able to put a salesman in a car and send him around the country. That doesn't work anymore. I mean, in some instances, you still do need a salesman in the car, but you need people who really understand social media, how to get things to market fast, how to turn it fast if things aren't working. I think, obviously, compliance is going to get tougher and tougher. If you're on a government board, truly you'll spend half your time on compliance, quite rightly, for governments. It is taxpayers' money. But what I'm seeing is that the public service more and more wants to devolve accountability to the boards on the various government enterprises. So you'll find heaps and heaps of sign-offs and attestations. And so that means that you need to have a broader understanding, particularly of the finances and the compliance regimes that sort of govern them all, more than you would have had to a few years ago.